Panel, what is produced by nature is consumed by nature, but the excesses by human activities is what is really causing the problem for us, right? So we tell you that this is not seen as a technological challenge which you have to overcome in the future, but rather it is a disaster waiting to happen. So we tell you that a little bit of global warming isn't bad for us, but the excesses by human activities, of which we have seen over the past years with high levels of population, which is really affecting us, and we think we have to look into it and then have solutions to these problems we are facing, right? So we have the carbon dioxide, the nitrous oxide gas, and then we have the methane gas, which are seen its high level in its production by these human activities that we are seeing over here. Due to high levels of industrialization and agriculture, we have seen all these gases having it being produced at a very large extent, right? So we tell you that for the past years, the past 2 decades, we have found the world's temperature increasing by 1.4 Fahrenheit, which is estimated to be increased by zero point 0.5 in 100 years to come if we don't look into the issues and then really solve them very well, right? So, panel, just part of the 2019 and then into early of 2020, we have the Australian bushfire where it had about half a billion of the wildlife animal being killed, right? And with that, this can go a long way to affect us in the food chain and also the ecosystem at large if we want to continue to experience these things in its high extent, where some species can be extinct and to go a long way to affect us in the future, right? So you think the future of the world's climate is pre-established since we have seen this high level of the points I've listed earlier, which is industrialization and agriculture, right? So we think that technology has given us a lot of solutions over the past years, but we think that in this particular situation we find ourselves, it is the political way which we need to look into and establish certain policies that will help us solve the issues at hand, right? So over the past years, we have seen human activities in the several organizations increment in the burning of fossil fuels, coals, gasoline, and other things, right? So what has been happening? We have about 400 billion, 40 billion of carbon dioxide being released into the atmosphere by several organizations and other things. But then if you think of it that this is a natural phenomenon or the earth is doing its own thing, but then we have, let's say, volcanic reactions by the earth's own mechanisms, right? It has about 500 million of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere. We thought that human activities are generating more of these, atmospheric gases that are really affecting us rather than the natural earth its own activities, right? So we tell you that in a way to curb the release of carbon dioxide, we need to place the carbon dioxide taxes in our things where if people use carbon dioxide, they have to pay the tax and other things, and also look into using electric cars, which will help us save the burning of fossil fuels and the releasing of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And I think this is what they can implement to help us save the situation. But then in one way or the other, we can also look into agriculture where we can also reduce the intake of meat and other things and making people getting into becoming vegetarians to help us save the world.